So today's lab is the standardization of sodium hydroxide with KHP. Okay, so this KHP is a chemical, it's a powdery acid. Okay, so here we are going to standardize the sodium hydroxide. That means we are going to find out the exact concentration of the sodium hydroxide. Okay, once we know the concentration of the sodium hydroxide, then we will use that exact concentration of sodium hydroxide to find out the concentration of the HCl. Okay, so this is the today's lab. So this is called the standardization lab also. So here what is going to happen? Standardization of sodium hydroxide. So this is a base, as you know. What is the definition of base? The metal oxides and hydroxide. This is a metal hydroxide. This is a base. And with KHP, this is an acid. So it is a acid base titration. Okay. Now what is the titration? I hope all of you know that is a process which is used to determine the volume of a solution needed, okay, to react with a given amount of the another substance. So suppose when you will do this is a titration. What we are going to do? This is a KHP. As I said, this is a powder. Okay. And why we are going to use the KHP? You can ask, like, suppose this is the sodium hydroxide, we can use the HCl also to find out the concentration, but this HCl actually comes with a liquid form. So, but this one is a powder form, as well as this is a primary standard substance. Okay, what is the primary standard substance? A substance which concentration doesn't change with the time. Okay, so that means this concentration, the concentration of the KHP does not change with the time. Okay, so we can make the exact concentration of this KHP by using our very high quality weighing machine. Okay, so with the weighing machine we can take the exact amount of the KHP and then we can make the exact concentration of the KHP. Clear? So then we can use this KHP to find out the concentration of the sodium hydroxide. Since it is an acid, so we are going to find out the concentration of a base. Okay. By using that, by doing that, once we get the concentration of the base, then we can use this base to find out the concentration of this acid. Clear? So here we are going to conduct two titration. One is the KHP with sodium hydroxide, and then when you get the concentration of this, then use sodium hydroxide with HCl. Okay, clear? So from our lab we normally will give you 2 molar solution of HCl and sodium hydroxide. So these are the 2 molar HCl and 2 molar sodium hydroxide. But the thing is that this 2 molar concentration is not exact. It will be around. Okay, and this 2 molar is also around, not exact. From this 2 molar and this 2 molar sodium hydroxide, you supposed to make a 0.1 molar 500 ml sodium hydroxide, HCl, and same 0.1 molar 500 ml sodium hydroxide. Okay, and since this is an exact, this is around, so this concentration will also be around, right? This concentration for the both will be around. We are assuming that it will be 0.1 molar, but it is actually not 0.1 molar. You have to find out that what is the exact concentration of this sodium hydroxide and HCl. Clear? Now I am going to show you how to do that. That means the experimental procedure as well as the calculation. So in the experimental part, first what we will do? First we take 1500 ml of deionized water. Okay, because since you have to make 500 ml of HCl and sodium hydroxide, so that's why we take 1500 ml of deionized water and we actually boil it. Okay, so why we boil it? Sometimes we also actually, if it is like we don't have any time, we avoid this, but it's better to boil it. Why? Because if you boil it, so what is the normally it does? If you take deionized water. So suppose you have deionized water here. Okay. So what it will do, it will absorb some carbon dioxide, okay, from the environment. So that what will happen, it will form some hydrogen carbonate inside the water. So that the pH will be some acidic, the pH will go down. Clear? But if you boil, then what will happen? If you boil, then they will produce some bubbles, as you see. Okay, those are actually nothing but the carbon dioxide. So since all the carbon dioxide removed, the pH will be exactly 7. Okay, so after you boil, then we cool it, let it cool. Okay, because you cannot use the hot water, so you have to let it cool. If it is the room temperature, then we are gonna use this. Okay, so normally what you do, just after calming, then we start this process. Okay, then second part is the from 2 molar HCl. As I said, we will give you 2 molar HCl and 2 molar sodium hydroxide. Okay, from that 2 molar HCl and 2 molar sodium hydroxide, we will make this 0.1 molar 500 ml of sodium HCl and 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide. Your job, okay, this is your job, is to find out how much of 2 molar HCl we need. Same one, how much of 2 molar sodium hydroxide we need. Okay, so this is your job. And then so once you have made this 0.1 molar HCl and 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide, then prepare KHP solution. How to prepare? Then we prepare the KHP solution, and these two actually we mark it as the A and B. Okay, so we prepare the KHP solution. How? We take this 2.500 gram. If you take some other amount, 2.501, you have to mention it, whatever the amount, okay, for significant figure, of KHP in 100 ml of water. Okay, this gram of KHP in 100 ml of water. Okay, in book it is a little bit different, but here we will do like this. Okay, so 2.5 gram of KHP in 100 ml of water we will take. Then take 20 ml of KHP. So you have 100 ml of water in a volumetric flask. We will do this. Okay, this, if we make it C, okay, this C will be here 100 ml. Okay, and this C, we will take 20 ml from this C in conical flask. How the conical flask look like? It is look like this. So we will take this in the conical flask with the pipette, and then we will titrate with the solution A. Okay, so the sodium hydroxide. So we have to do this 3 times. So after doing that, we will know the exact concentration of the sodium hydroxide. Okay. The second part, this is the first titration. For the second titration, just so sodium hydroxide will be on the burette. Okay, always sodium hydroxide will be on the, for this lab, sodium hydroxide will be on the burette. So your conical flask, first fill with this KHP, then when you finish, then take the 20 ml of HCl, this B. We are going to take it here. First you took this one C, first you took this one, now you are taking this one. Okay, after washing, don't put it on the, so after washing, then you are taking on the B. Then you are going to titrate with the sodium hydroxide again 3 times. By this way, you will find out the exact concentration of this titration. Clear? So now I am going to show you actually how will you do the titration, how will you do the calculation. But I will not give you the exact figure. Then whatever the figure I will give, this will be the random. Then you have to do after when I will give you the data, then you have to do by yourself the exact one. Okay. So first we are going to make the potassium hydrogen phthalate solution. Okay, so we are going to take 2.5 gram. So we have taken actually 2.5 to 3 gram. You see, 2.5 to 3 gram, 5 to 2 gram. Okay. So after taking the 2.5 to 3 gram of the potassium hydrogen thalate, then I put it in the water and with a 100 ml of volumetric flask, and I put a stirring rod. So that's why the line is above, otherwise it was actually exactly same as the line of the volumetric flask. Okay, since I put the stirring rod, so the volume of the water went up. Okay, so let it dissolve. It will take around 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, by this time I am going. So first we are actually going to make the 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide and 0.1 molar hydrochloric acid. These are not exact, it will be around. Okay, so so these are the solution we normally give to the students. Okay, so this normally being in the fume hood, but we don't normally remains in the fume hood, but because of the making the video, I am actually I kept it outside. Okay, so hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. So we don't take directly from inside. Okay, what we do, we normally put it in a small clean beaker. Okay, we put it in the small clean beaker, whatever the amount we need around. So this may be a little more than 30 ml. We also need 25 ml around. So this is sodium hydroxide. This is what we get from the, we normally give it to you. Okay, so in the outside they actually, since you know the caustics, so the outside it becomes the caustic sodium hydroxide. Okay, so this is sodium hydroxide and this one is HCl. Okay, so this is our pipette. So first we are going to use the pipette and we are going to wash the pipette first with the 3 times with the water. Okay, this is the distilled water or deionized water. Okay, so we are going to use, I am also washing it again one more time, but finally what you need to do, you have to wash it at least for 3 times. Okay, so I am washing here 2 times because of the video will be much more bigger than. So wash this 3 times and 1 time with the chemical what you are going to use. So for this one, actually I am going to make the sodium hydroxide 0.1 molar solution. So you should need, from the calculation, you should need 25 ml of the sodium hydroxide to make a 0.1 molar solution. Okay, 0.1 molar solution, I am going to first wash it with a small amount. So for washing you don't have to fill it up. Okay, you just fill half of it. This is called the rinse. Then you rinse it, and if there is any water or any other things which is dissolved in the sodium hydroxide, it will be cleaned. Okay, okay, then now we are going to take the not sodium hydroxide, it is hydrochloric acid, sorry. So we are going to take the hydrochloric acid and try to take it slowly, because you need to be your things inside the pipette, it needs to be bubble free. Okay, so this needs to be bubble free. Okay, so now it is exact on the line. You can see, I don't know, can you see here now? Okay, it's on the line. So now we are going to take this 25 ml. Okay, so then you are going to fill it up. So now we are taking this 25 ml of the hydrochloric acid and fill it up with the water till the up to the mark. Okay, same way we are going to make for the sodium hydroxide also, 0.1 molar, 0.1 molar. Clear? I am not showing it, but the same way you will do this. Okay, then so now I am going to fill this burette. First of all, before filling it out, first I have to wash it. Okay, so first I have to wash it. This is the distilled water and I am going to wash it. As I said before, I will wash it 3 times. So I am gonna show you on 1 time, but I normally wash it with the 3 times just for the videos, to make it not lengthy. So 3 times you are supposed to wash the burette with the water. Okay, and one time with the chemicals what you are going to use. So this is actually waste for me. This I made the waste container. Normally we do we recommend the students to make a beaker where all the waste will go, and after the finishing your lab, this waste will go to the waste container. Okay, we have in the fume hood. Okay, so then after that, this is the actually sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide. What we make 0.1 molar. Okay, so this is the 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide we make. So now I am going to wash 1 time with this one. Okay, so make sure this is off, and now I am adding. You don't have to add all through the top of the burette. If you add like 20 ml, that's fine. So once you have added, then you have to do these, so that if there is anything, any sodium hydroxide which is any chemical which is soluble in sodium hydroxide, it will be dissolved. Okay, then after that you have to run all the sodium hydroxide. Okay, then I am gonna make it I am gonna add the sodium hydroxide till the 0. Okay, you don't have to clean these things. You don't have to draw all the liquid actually, because this is all sodium hydroxide what we are going to do. So then we are going to add sodium hydroxide from here. So it's not up to the mark, so that's why I'm going to add more of the sodium hydroxide to make it 0. Then as you can see, it's more than 0, so I am okay. Now it is exactly 0. As you can see from here, the lower meniscus, take a look at the lower meniscus here. Now you can take a look at the lower meniscus, it's exactly 0. Okay, so once you have opened the computer, then we will go to Loggerpo. Okay, and after that, as you can see here, I have connected the pH probe here. Okay, so this I put it inside the water, and it's normally remains in this cylindrical vial. So this has the liquid, this is the maybe potassium sulfate. I forgot, I'll let you know later. So the pH should be little bit lower. So this is the storing liquid. This pH is actually a little bit lower. Okay. So after that, after taking it from there, then I put it inside the water to wash it. Okay. And you need to be very much careful about this. There is a bulb, as you can see here. This bulb is actually the sensor. Okay, this tell you the pH of your solution. So for today's lab, we will find out the 24 acid base titration. So first what we will do, we will go here, open programs, and then we will see the chemistry vernier. Okay, then 24 acid base, it will come from here, 24 acid base titration, and open it. Okay, so the program just open this way, we will open the 24 acid base titration program. Then after that we will do the calibration. So as you can see, this is a 2-point calibration. One, we have the pH 4 and another one is the pH 7. Okay, so let's do for the first one, pH 4. So we take it, we open it. Okay, then once you have, I'm taking it from the water, then you have to make sure no water left. Okay, so what we normally do, you can swipe with the chem wipe, but since I am doing the videos, it's not possible for me. So what I am doing, so first take it, dry the tips. Okay, then you are going to open this part, experimental part. Go to the experiment, and then we do the calibration. Okay, so here is the calibration. So there are two-point calibration. We are going to do 2-point calibration. So if you do 1-point calibration, you have to click it here. Since we are doing 2-point calibration, so we sign it there. Okay, reading 1, reading 2. So calibrate it now. I am going to put it calibrate now. So as you can see here, the voltage is 2.43, right? I didn't put it inside here. This is outside here. Okay, so once I have put it in the pH 4, okay, pH 4, I put it, I'm just moving it like this, and let me see here. Okay, can you see the voltage is decreasing or increasing? Okay, 2.40. Okay, so once the volume is settled, voltage is settled, so then we can take it out. Okay, we can click on the keep, put the value 4.0, put the value 4.0 here, and then keep, and done. Oh, sorry, no. So experiment, calibration, do this 2-way point, calibrate now, and then 4, 0, keep, and then second point. Okay, so then take it out. So now wash it with the water. Okay, once you wash it, after wash it, then put it on the pH 7. So if you put it on the pH 7, if your probe is fine and everything is fine, then it will so now you see the voltage is decreasing. Okay, 1.6 now voltage. So it happens once the pH higher, for the higher pH the voltage will be lower, for the lower pH the voltage will be higher because of the number of ions. And okay, voltage, okay, so then we are going to do same thing as before. So we are going to put the data 7.0, okay, then keep it and done. Okay, so as you can see, so our pH meter is already calibrated. So before the titration we are putting it inside. Okay, then I will take 20 ml of this KHP. This burette is already filled with the sodium hydroxide, and now I am going to KHP. I am going to take 20 ml of KHP. Okay, so after 20 ml of KHP, then I will start the titration. Then I will show you again from the titration because it is not possible for me to show you together. Here I have taken KHP and put a steering rod, and also place the pH probe so that it is not the steering rod is not hitting the pH probe. Okay, and now I am going to, and here is the so here is the data I am going to take. You see at the beginning the pH is 4.14. okay, so if you keep this data, so it's actually you see it's 0 ml. I haven't added any sodium hydroxide. Okay, so once I have added 1 ml of the sodium hydroxide, then the pH, as you can see, pH increase a little bit, so you should wait like 20 seconds, and then you will put it this keep. Okay, it's like 1 ml. You see 1 ml, and if you keep doing it, I am showing you after doing the calculation, then how it will look like. Okay, so after finishing the experiment, the graph will look like this. Okay, so from this data you can find out which one is the equivalence point actually. So this is the first derivative. What is the maximum first value of the first derivative? Is, as you can see here, 30.5. okay, 2.46, this is the maximum value. So at the 30.5, here around 30 to 31, so this way we normally do the titration 3 times. Okay, first time with the 1 ml like big difference, second time with a small difference, and third time with the same small difference in this region. That means from 1 to like 27 we will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 difference. Okay, big difference. But when you will come very close to this 30.5, that means suppose 27, then you should go 0.2 ml difference, 0.2 ml, so that we can exactly find out where is the exact endpoint. Okay, so after doing these things, we will fill out our table. There will be a table I will give you in the post lab questions. I will give you, from there you have supposed to actually make the lab report. Okay.